Okay, so we're going to talk about rhubarb and raspberries tonight, this evening, actually. So let's go this way. Work our way through the trees. So let's start with some rhubarb talk, okay? And over here, and you've been here before, and you saw the rhubarb before. Remember this plant, and we took all of the leaves off of it and took it home and made rhubarb and rhubarb crisp. And
yep, it was delicious.
this is the second growth. So, and it's nice and big, and it's ready to be harvested again.
Wow, that grew back fast.
Yeah. When was that? About a month ago?
Yep.
So, and here. Now the last time that we did this, I used a knife to harvest the leaves, and a lot of people say that not to use a knife because they're afraid that you'll cut the crown of the rhubarb. So what you're supposed to do is reach in, grab it, give it a little twist, and pull, and it just comes right out like that. And you can see where it was stuck to the crown. So let's do that again. And it comes right up. It's very easy to do. And a little twist. And as we work here, you can see where the crown is. Can you see that in there?
Where at?
Where this one little leaf is coming out. So that's kind of our crown down in there. There's actually several different crowns on this particular plant. Now there are two varieties, or there's many varieties of rhubarb, but two separate types. And one is a red type and one is a green type. And I'm talking about the stalks. So this one is more, it appears to be red at the bottom, but here in the middle it's green. And there's no flavor difference between the red or the green. So the flavor is going to be the same. However, if you're making a pie or a jam, people prefer the red variety because the green, when you cook it, it turns a little gray. And that's not necessarily appetizing. Like if it were just red, red's a little more appetizing than a gray after it's cooked. Rhubarb are really hardy and really easy to grow in our area, our hardiness zones of 3 and 4. So, you can pretty much plant them anywhere that you want. Just make sure that where you plant them, it's going to be there for a while. Because these plants can live for 15 to 20 years. And you don't want it, you're not going to want to pick them up and move them around. So wherever it is you put them, make sure that that's the place they're going to stay. Rhubarb does have some disease, but not very often. And usually that's going to be a fungus or a virus that can attack the crown. And if it does, the plant needs to be destroyed and dug out and put in a plastic bag and taken to the trash or burned. You don't want to compost it if it does get sick. So that doesn't hurt.
Well, how do you know if it gets sick?
It will start rotting. It will start rotting away, Now some of these you can see on this one, there's some big holes in the leaf. That doesn't hurt the stem at all. It just, maybe the wind blew really hard and it got bashed against something. It could be that some animal ate a little bit of it, or some insect ate a little bit of it and kind of just hurt the leaf a little bit, but it didn't hurt the plant at all, and the stalk is just fine. So that works out. Now this will be the last harvesting we do with the rhubarb. And I'm going to take this big one here. But that's all I'm going to harvest. I'm going to leave the rest of it to go ahead and grow and start putting nutrients back into the roots. So we won't harvest any more this year of the rhubarb. And again, with the rhubarb, the stalk itself is edible, but the leaf is not.
They say it's poisonous.
Yes,
Is it?
is.
Okay.
However, the leaf can be used as a dye fix-it. So if, you know, some people have wool yarn and stuff like that and they like to dye it, the leaf can be used as an item that will work with the dye and with the yarn, and it will make the dye adhere to the yarn, and that's called a mordant. It can be used that way. Any questions?
So what do you do with the leaves?
I will compost the leaves. If they are not diseased in any way, I'll just compost the leaves. Usually I leave them around the plant because that's a natural thing to do. That's what would happen in nature. Or I have a compost pile that I would put them in. I compost everything from my property. All the weeds and everything that I have, I compost and return everything that grew from the soil back to the soil. And that helps build the soil. I have nice, dark, rich soil